Good morning, everybody. It's a fantastic morning. We are here for another episode of Elite Zone. Today, we're going to be talking about how you can stop chasing, start attracting, and how smart content is going to be your best lead generation system. Let's get into it now. All right. Blake, what's going on? How are you? Look at that smile. You look like you're having a great morning so far. Productive.
Good morning. I am doing well. I'm ready to get after today and do what we got to do, which is help educate our clients and real estate agents out there. How are you doing?
Oh, I'm if I were any better, I'd be twins. That's what my goofy uncle used to say.
I
And
love it.
yeah, I'm with you. I'm ready to get after it. And I love the
Woo!
energy because we're talking about attraction, we're talking about building your business, all of that stuff. And I think attraction, it's not necessarily like a lucky moment, but it's a system output, right? Like this is when you attract when your digital ecosystem is in place, but also when your content is built around your ideal client's specific problem,
Yes.
right? So, and then the visibility then becomes your pipeline engine, and that's what we want to talk about building. And the biggest question, and this is what I hear all the time. I know you hear this all the time. Agents asking, why doesn't my content convert into leads?
Yeah.
I get a lot of that, right? And I think there's probably numerous answers as to that. It's kind of hard without getting in the weeds and looking specifically what agents are posting. But what are your thoughts on that? Why some agents just seem to attract and hit their target ideal customer right on the nose, not physically, of course, but metaphorically.
Yeah, we don't
And
want that.
right. And some just kind of, they're just posting stuff and nothing's really happening.
Yeah. Well, that I think is huge because I do think a lot of agents, our listeners, have that feeling. And, it's okay first to have that feeling of like, hey, I feel like I'm doing what I'm supposed to. I'm posting, I'm being told, from my brokerage to post it. I'm
Yep.
listening to this podcast to post it. But I don't know what's going on. And I'm going to say that feeling is valid. But let's talk about now how we can help elevate you to where now you're seeing the results. So, first thing I'm going to say is let's pull up your social media platforms. Let's pull up your website, your Google business profile, the things that you can be posting to. Let's
Mhm.
pull those things up so that way we can take a look at what are we posting? What,
Yep.
what are we working with? Right.
Yep.
So, that's going to be the first thing that we're going to want to look at.
Just
Yeah.
wanna make a quick distinction here, and what Blake is saying, I just wanna say the reason why we need to look at it, guys, is you need to be wary of anybody that comes out and says to you, "If you're a real estate agent, this content is gonna work 100% of the time for your audience. So, buy my program, and this content is" like, you don't know that, right? So, be very wary of a generic template set or something that's not personalized to at least, to your brand, because one size doesn't necessarily fit all. So that's why it's important to get into the weeds. That's all I wanted to say.
Exactly.
Continue.
Yeah. And I think that's also too another point of like why Agent Elite stands out is we treat every single client as their own and everything is personalized and everything is a kind of goal and structure and strategy for that specific person.
Yep.
Honestly, out of the thousands of clients that we have, I don't think there's one plan that someone is like the same goals and path that anyone's
No.
like
Right.
similar on. Yes, we have the same tools, but how people use it and where they're at in their business is completely different. So, yes, I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, I just
So
wanted to make that distinction. But yes,
yeah,
continue.
absolutely.
Continue.
Yeah, no, I love it. And so when you look at it and when you look at what you're posting, a lot of times what agents are posting are more of like, hey, here's a market update. Hey, here's a listing. Hey, here's an open house. And not that any of that is wrong. What, like, keep posting that. Don't stop posting that. However, that's not those aren't the posts that are going to attract the leads that you are wanting right now. What that is doing is basically an advertisement of saying, hey, this is what I'm doing. Hey, this is what's going on. But it's not attracting people to say, I want to work with that person. And
Yes.
that's the shift that we're going to
Yes.
dive into today is
Exactly.
turning it around to where someone is like, holy crap, that girl Blake, I want to work with her. Like,
Yeah.
that's what we want to change your posts to be about rather than the generic, once again, posts that maybe companies are doing. Maybe you're hiring a company to post for you, and it's more of
Yep.
just like, the generic kitchen, and they're like, what do you like, this kitchen or this kitchen?
Yeah. A
And
before,
yeah, it's a
ever.
little bit of engagement, but it's
Mhm.
not necessarily attracting, once
Right.
again, those people that you're like, "I want to buy with them." So, we're
Yeah.
gonna
It's
go
not
over
curated. Yep.
exactly. So, here's the generic content. We're gonna give an example. So, like I just said, right? Just listed, San Diego home, 3 beds, 3 bath, 3 beds, 3 baths.
Right.
Message me.
Yeah. Right. Like that's,
Okay, I
yeah.
mean, you gotta think about how the selling process works, right? So, in order for someone to come to you, right? Once again, there's hundreds of agents probably in your market. For
Hmm.
someone to say, I'm going to take the time to reach out to this person by you just telling them, hey, I have this property, message me for details.
Hmm.
Now, if they really love the property, yeah, they might actually message you, right? But that's going to be a slim percentage rather than what you're trying to create, which is a big sales funnel of generating all of these contacts coming to you.
Right.
Another generic kind of post is, dream big, work hard, stay focused. I can help you buy and sell,
Hmm.
right? It's like not really giving much of content right there. Or,
No.
hey, open house this Saturday, 12 to 3. Right?
Mhm. Yep.
So the shift is none of that tells the person how you're going to help them, how you think, and why they should trust you. It just tells me or any person, like, hey, I exist. Hey, I'm an agent, I exist. That's all it does, right? So, what you want to be posting, and here's some scenarios, and if you're listening, I write these down, or listen to this and go back and maybe update one of your captions, whatever it is. But the shift of how you post and what you say is, if you're a VA buyer in San Diego using a 0% down loan and keep losing cash, here's why it's happening and how I can help you fix it.
Yes.
Message me for details, or message
Right.
me if you want to connect.
Yep.
Boom.
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear, but it also tells me what I learned in that statement or that video, whatever it is, however you want to post it, is that you are knowledgeable in VA loans. You told me the market you work in. You gave me a problem that's something I could be facing, and now are saying, but I have a solution for you, and here's how I can help you.
Yeah.
You're now outlining for these clients what you offer, and how you can help them rather than them helping you.
Hmm.
Another example of something that you could say or create a video on is, if your home has been sitting on the market for 30 plus days with no offers, the problem is not the market, it's your positioning. But
Hmm.
here's what I would change:
Yeah.
contact me so we can connect.
Yeah, so it's way less broad, more
Mhm.
specific, and you're, niching yourself as an authority, not necessarily to only one specific type of person, but it's more like on the pain point side of things,
Correct.
right? So you're,
Correct.
like, calling out, like, "Hey, if you're experiencing this with your VA," like, yeah, you're getting the keywords of the people that you're talking to and calling out the problem specifically. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, and what we call that, especially in the marketing, is ICP,
Mhm.
ideal customer profile.
Yep.
So, what you as an agent should definitely do, and this can even be a task that we set at the end of this episode, is sit down and truly think and say, okay, who are my ideal clients that I want to be working with?
Yeah.
If you are in an area where you work with luxury clients, write down all of the pain points luxury clients could face. Maybe you work specifically with first time home buyers. Write down all of the things that first time home buyers could be facing and maybe the process of where they struggle or where they need the help. And when you actually write those things down and identify those pain points, you're able to create content based off of that pain point by highlighting it and then offering the solution. And
Yeah.
that's where, when you do that, you are now attracting because your messaging matches your ideal client. And that's how you see that shift in what you post from the more generic content to actual substance of getting the people that you want. So, yeah, we could go on with multiple examples and
Yeah.
go over different captions and things that you
Yeah.
say.
This is really good for for the top funnel though, right? It's
Yes.
targeted enough to scoop people in, and
Yep.
then like I know there's process content as well.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's where you were going to go next. So I think yeah, I think that it's kind of like looking at it like a sales funnel. I always tell salespeople about content on social media or even online. Think of it, it's just like a sales call. You're
Yeah.
just taking them through that qualifying journey and closing journey and decision stages over, a different amount of time, perhaps through a different channel. But it's like the same
Yeah.
principle. So like
Yeah.
the next section, the process content, this would be like walking them through exactly how you're preparing a listing or explaining what like step by step what to expect, or what would you say would be a good example for process content based off of one of the first examples you gave.
Yeah, absolutely. So with the process content, right? Like I think a lot of agents can say and do say like, "Hey, I guide my clients every step of the way." Which that's great. I think that's awesome. Obviously, clients want to know that you're going to be there to help them, but some people might not understand what that really even means. Like some people might not know what the process is or how you can guide them every step of the way, right? Because especially if they're a first-time home buyer, maybe they don't even know what that process is. So, yes, that's okay to say, but
Hmm.
things that you can change in how you frame the process content is say, here's exactly what I do before I let my client submit an offer. Maybe say what those things are and
Yep.
why most agents skip this step.
Mm.
Right? Like you're giving the process of how you're going to help the client. Or
Yep.
maybe you say, if you're working with sellers and you are like that go to listing agent, you say, before I list a home, I do these three things that directly impact how much it sells for. And
Yeah.
most agents maybe do one or don't know the strategy that I have.
Yep.
Right? So they're giving that process of how they're going to help that client. Um, you, I'll throw another one out there. Here's what happens the moment you text me, I want to buy a house. I'm going to reach out to you and we're going to go step by step of what that process looks like
Yeah.
and what you need to do to now set yourself up for success. Right?
That's so like it's so specific. It's like
Mhm.
I understand exactly where you're at in your journey.
Yep.
I know exactly what's coming next. I know exactly how to handle it. I'm going to explain that all to you. And here's what I do that other agents don't. That's really really effective. So great
Yeah.
examples you're giving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And just to highlight too, when you say, I guide my clients every step of the way, um, they don't see the process. So when they don't see the process, unfortunately, people do assume that maybe there just isn't one. Or maybe you don't know what that process is because
Mhm.
it's too broad, right? So when you really hone in and really get down to the granular like process and steps, people can relate to that. Or maybe they're at a stage in their buying journey that they're like, oh my God, they're talking about this part of the process. That's where we're at right now. Let
Yep.
me reach out, you know?
Right.
So, yeah, it's when you're talking about the process content, you want to get specific, not generic, because people are able to connect better when you're more specific in that process and in that journey. So that way they can reach out to you and really truly know what's going on.
Yeah. Love that. I love that. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then type 3, which actually, I talk about this all the time, and I love, uh, this type of content. We're gonna be talking about social proof content.
Love it.
And it's why it's so powerful. And the reason why it's so powerful is because I can say, I'm the number one guy in, Lincoln Park in Chicago. I'm the realtor there. Okay. So, I'm the guy. You just come to me and I'm going to take care of it. There's one thing for me saying that, but it's a different thing if Blake was like, no, Max is the guy in Lincoln Park. You need to go work with him. Check it
Yeah.
out. So when somebody else tells your prospect that you are the real deal, then that is really, really powerful. Social proof is drilled into our heads
Yep.
psychologically, and it's really, really powerful. So, I mean, and like a story, right? A great
Yes.
social proof kind of your testimonial content, guys, your
Yeah.
reviews, that is social proof right there, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. And
fi-
like,
figure out a way to do that, get those reviews, communicate with your clients. I mean, how can they expand and really lean into different types of social proof content?
yeah, I mean, you got to look at it as, it's a story, right? I know sometimes it can seem like, oh, well, I feel like I'm bragging, or, I don't really like to talk about myself like this. No, don't look at that. A mindset shift, right? That's what we're going to have happen. A mindset shift of this is just a story that you're telling that you're able to express to others who might not know you yet or want to get to know you. This is an
Mhm.
opportunity to show who you are. Okay. So,
Yeah.
some examples. Some things that I've seen is, hey, I have another happy client. Congrats to my buyers. And it's a picture of the buyers, right? Yeah, that's good. I don't think that that's not good. I think that's good to have. But I think we can go a little deeper to give a story. And some examples of what that could look like is, hey, these clients lost 3 homes before working with me. Here's exactly what we changed on offer for that finally got them accepted. I'm so happy for this new journey that they're about to embark on.
Mhm.
Right?
That
You basically said congrats to
nice.
them, but then
Mhm.
you told a story behind how they weren't having success, but then they
Yes.
worked with you and they had success.
Yep. Everybody loves a
The
story.
story, the story, the story. Another one, right? We'll talk about sellers. You can say, this seller almost listed with another agent at 650K. We repositioned the home and sold it at 750K.
Yeah.
Here's exactly what we did differently.
Yes. Yeah,
Boom.
because that's a hook, right? You're like, "Dang, how were they able."
How
I
I
think
wanna I wanna work with that agent. They're gonna
eh,
get me they're gonna get me 100K more than what I was thinking or what I've already been told I could get it at. Like, I wanna work with them, right?
right,
Um,
100%.
Another one could say, "Hey, my client was scared to buy because of interest rates. So we structured the deal to lower their monthly payment by $400, and here's how we did it."
Yeah.
So I really want, everyone that's listening right now to understand with the story and the social proof is like results don't build trust.
Mhm.
The story behind the results build the trust. And
Ooh,
that's the shift.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good. Love
So,
that. Lots of value there, guys. Lots of value. And yeah, like your content, like it's the first step. Unless you're cold calling or door knocking, your content is the first
mhm,
step in your sales system, right? So
yeah.
I know, like we know a lot of agents think of content marketing separate from sales, but I know like internally as a company, and what we recommend is like your sales and your marketing should be like that, right?
Yeah.
Because you're marketing what you're selling. And when you do that correctly, like your content should be doing the like a lot of the qualification process, right?
Correct.
Making it easier for you. Especially if you're a solo agent out there and you don't, you're just setting up your systems. I mean, you're going to want to have things as smooth and streamlined as possible, right? So the more you do with this, the marketing, the better. But you've got your problem aware content, so
Mhm.
you know you can create that stuff. You can create your process content and your social proof content, and then consistency over time. You just keep watching the numbers. I mean, not every piece of content is going to land,
Yeah.
but look, that's, you got to get out there and just move with it. And the more, this is just, it's just like anything else, the more you do this, the better you will naturally get
Mhm.
over time. But if you don't ever start, or if you're too worried about doing it, then none of the really cool results can happen. So if you ever need a coach or somebody to help you through any insecurities about shooting content, you can give us a call anytime. But yeah, I mean, I really think that is, if your content is doing what it's supposed to do, that's going to bring in the people. And then you need to it's up to the agent how
Mhm.
you convert that. What's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? But if we look at, that shift from chasing to attracting, right?
Yeah.
It's before you're cold calling. You're posting, market. That's another thing. Here's what's going on in the market, like this kind of stuff. And I'm not ragging on this kind of stuff. It is, it's important information, but I think, like Blake was, it's more in how you tell it, right? It's not necessarily
Exactly,
more in how you
exactly.
tell it,
It's
right?
I mean, just like you were saying, right? Like, before you're kind of like, wondering like, "Oh, well, where's my next deal gonna come from?" You kinda are posting because people are telling you, "Hey, you gotta post on
You got to
social
post.
media, you gotta post on social media," but the posting you're just doing to stay not invisible.
Right.
And you're kind of chasing those conversations, where when you're posting with the intention and more of the problem and process and social proof and really getting into it, that then changes to where then people, come into the conversation like already sold on you and what you offer and how you're going to help them, right? Like, they already see the value, so you're not really convincing them, but you're
Right.
confirming with them that, yes, this is how I can help you. This is the knowledge I have. So yeah, like, it becomes, instead of convincing, you're confirming.
Yeah. Love
That's
that.
that's the big shift.
Yep. So from convincing to confirming, I love that. So
Yeah.
really, to make this shift, guys, the three main things that are going to drive it for you is that, if you're posting content that's generic, it's not landing, start sharing your actual perspective and your process, instead of just, slapping your logo and colors on an infographic that any other agent can put up there.
Mhm.
That'll help. And then, stop posting just randomly, start building content, a system, right?
Yeah.
Intentional system with the categories that Blake and I were talking about above. And your categories might look different than somebody else's. It's really about, your ICP, your ideal customer profile, what they want, how you can help him, and you can build it around there. And then don't treat your content separate from sales and what's going on in your sales pipeline,
Yeah.
right? Because every stage somebody is at in the journey to becoming your client and the deal closing, you're going to want to create content that's going to cater to them and cater to people like them that you also want to work with. So, yeah, like, you don't have to be a master content creator. You just have to be consistent and specific. And, I think authentic, but really
Mhm.
over anything, the consistency and the intentionality is going to build the right audience for you,
Yeah.
as an agent, I think.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, kind of with that, I actually do have a challenge for our listeners today. Um, I want everyone to kind of look at their last, 5 posts. not three, not two, but your last 5 posts, and
Mhm.
really look at it based off of everything we just talked about, right? How many of those posts out of those 5 actually speak to a real problem, shows how you work,
Mhm.
prove you get results. And
Yep.
if you're looking at them and your answer is, I don't think this one does, or, maybe I could have done this one better. I want you to realize that, it's not like a pipeline problem. Or a lead problem. It's content. And
Yep.
that's the exciting thing about content is it can be adjusted, it can be refined over time. So, look at what you have, the last 5 posts, see if you are implementing any of the things that we just talked about. If it's not, the next 5 posts that you do, go ahead and, use some of the examples that we just gave. Or, use any other examples that you want to make sure clients know about you and what you can do and what you can offer, and really hone in on that ideal client um, persona that you're trying to attract.
Yeah, and check it out, guys. If you're sitting there thinking, okay, I'll go look at my last 5 posts, but man, I don't know like what to, this sounds like a lot. I don't know where to start with all of this stuff. I got two things for you. One, agentelite.com/visible is the visible agent guide. You should get that because that is going to have all kinds of info on this and pretty much everything else about building a solid real estate agent's digital ecosystem, right? Your visibility plan. And then also, I believe Design Studio will take a huge portion of manual work off of curating and branding your content how you might want it.
Mhm.
Um, so, for gosh sakes, check those things out. All right. I mean,
Yes.
that's a given. But anyhow, um, give yourself some grace. Just get
Yes.
started. And if you need help or motivation or anything, hey, you know who to reach out to, right?
Absolutely. And before we wrap this up, I just want to say we are in the month of April and we are giving an exclusive offer um,
Ooh.
to our 1 month free of our local presence elite tool. It's one of our most popular tools. It helps sync your data, manage your data, helps you, stand out against your competitors and kind of be able to see where you're at compared to them. We've seen huge results in our clients that are using a local presence elite, being able to level up on the map pack on AI tools. So if you want to be one of those lucky winners, go on any of our social media platforms and comment agent elite, and you will receive a link with the instructions and guide on how to enter and what to do. So you have until the end of April, and then we will announce the lucky winners at the beginning of May.
All right, that's awesome. Great, great. So, yeah, guys, look, download the transcript of this episode and drop it into Chat GPT or Claude or Gemini and say, hey, I need to curate my plan to what these guys are saying, and then let us know what it says. Because, hey, there are incredible things you can do now with technology, with tools, with marketing systems, and we want to share them with you. We're going to be doing that on the next episode of Elite Zone next week. But until then, Blake and I are signing off. So have a great week, get after it, and we'll see you soon.
Woo!